We have a lot to get to, but let's start with school funding, specifically the Student Success Act. It's something we've been talking about for months now. So this is the largest school funding package ever passed in the state of Oregon. It will tax businesses and then put $2 billion into the state's K-12 school system. How? A 0.57% tax on businesses that make more than $1 million a year. Okay, next, let's talk about housing. So Oregon has become the first state nationwide to get rid of single-family zoning in cities with more than 10,000 residents by allowing duplexes to be built on land previously zoned for single-family homes. It'll also allow for cities with more than 25,000 residents to have triplexes, fourplexes, or cottage clusters. Now, housing advocates hope that this leads to cheaper homes across the entire area. All right, now we want to talk about undocumented immigrants. So after a new bill, undocumented immigrants no longer have to prove that they are in this country legally and they can get a driver's license in Oregon. They do have to, though, pass a driver's test and prove that they live in this state. Next, we want to talk about paid family leave. Now, this is something that's gotten a lot of buzz on social media. If you make more than $1,000 per year, you can receive 12 weeks of paid leave for childbirth, illness, or care of a family member with a serious illness. Employers and workers would begin paying into this fund in 2022, and some small businesses would be exempt. And lastly, let's talk about the paid postage on ballots. So this will allocate $1.7 million for postage costs for mail-in ballots. It starts in 2020. Oregon joins California and Washington for paying for those mail-in ballots.